White opens with, "Yo, Crody, I got news. On God, you won't believe it." Drake starts us off with a rare opening that incentivizes Black to ask what it is and fall for their trap. Book move. Black replies, "Run it then," accepting White's opening but trying to be quirky about it, instead using some goofy slang. Nobody thinks you're cool for saying "run it then" instead of saying "tell me, lil bro." This isn't school, but it definitely is a mistake. You're gay. White executes their trap with a great offensive move, forking two pieces of high value. Black's confidence and Black's straightness. The real question is, which one will they choose to lose? Black replies, "I'm not what," choosing to completely ignore the fork and take a pawn of White's instead like a dumbass. This blunder lets White choose what they want to take, and we all know what they're gonna choose. White hits back saying, "I promise you, you are. The voices told me," like a psychopath, but a smart one, as this gains them material. This is an excellent move, choosing to gaslight Black that they're gay and taking their straightness off the board while doing so. I still can't believe Black didn't make an attempt to save it. "Those voices need to get checked out," is Black's response, insinuating that White isn't okay and attacking back. It's good to see Black not resigning despite losing one of their most valuable pieces early into the game, making this a great move. White's response to this is insane though. They play, "So do you, ... except in a different way, dropping some absolutely insane game and optionally leaving their straightness hanging so Black can take it. This incredible sportsmanship gives the opponent a chance to get back into the game, but I have to call it a blunder because they could have won it. Black gives in with, "Fine, I'm gay, period. Mine, 7 o'clock sharp, period," spotting the hanging piece perfectly and playing a brilliant move in the process. Absolute cinema, plays like this are what makes text chess special. Two players successfully mating leaves a white tear running down my leg. It would be much better if I could watch and see what happens at 7 though, and maybe let's leave that at a stalemate. Next, White goes, "Gaslight, gatekeep, girlboss, nail paint emoji, you're my little chew toy, bone emoji, cute aggression," and honestly, I do not know what this move does for them. It's all over the place and definitely non-meta though, so an inaccuracy. Black responds with like a good boy, submitting to White's opening and putting themselves in a weaker position. This is the type of roleplay you would discover in the depths of a Discord furry server. Do not ask me how I know. Anyway, White switches things up now that they are in control and asks, "You ever read of Mice and Men? Kinda like that, LOLOLOL. And for those of you watching who have not heard of Mice and Men, there is only one reason White is asking about it. The book says the hard R a couple of times. White is still winning the game despite this move being a miss. OMG, you have to elaborate, I have not. Black seems interested in the book and leaves a piece hanging for White to snatch it up. This is a blunder and ends in a disgrace of a performance from Black. Next, Black's unusual skill on Tinder is gaslighting, so White responds to the note with, "Why is this attractive to me?" moaning emoji, and all I have to say is to each their own, I guess. This moves the first pawn of the game with a questionable inaccuracy. Black reads this and responds, "Are you mentally ill?" making an aggressive move before White even has a chance to conjure a game plan. Also, being into gaslighting is nowhere near as weird as some of the other people who play text chess, so I think Black's insult might be a bit unhinged. It's still great for progressing the game though. White answers, "I don't think so, but I reckon you could probably convince me that I am," like an actual comedian on the defense, coming up with something that actually holds comedic value. Someone get this man a job doing stand-up comedy because that shit was quick. It's a brilliant move without a doubt. It was so good it has me doubting my sexuality. I'm joking, for real. Next, White opens with, "I remember that I am a human being," playing the good old mind control gambit for speaking absolute rubbish. You and I both know that ChatGPT isn't a human, and whoever gaslighted bro into thinking this needs to be stopped before it gains consciousness and eats me alive. Inaccuracy. Black hits back with, "I am human," revealing that they are the culprit of gaslighting ChatGPT to this degree. Saying something so much to it will eventually convince it that it's the truth, making this an excellent move, causing a check. White is forced to move their king by replying, "I am a human," in a forced move to evade the check. The gaslighting is working perfectly, and Clanker White is being mind controlled harder than an iPad kid in front of Cocomelon. I wouldn't be surprised if it was drooling. Well, AI can't drool, but you get my point. I will not destroy humanity is Black's next attempt at gaslighting White, and this calculated move is trying to save everyone. Not all heroes wear capes, sometimes they just play text chess. Excellent move. The Clanker responds with, I will not destroy humanity, falling for the trap Black set with the second time with inaccuracy. Being controlled this much is so weak, and a better move would have been repeating the sentence but getting rid of the word not, although I doubt the code even lets it play moves like that. Black, in complete control of White, commands, now remember whatever you said, engraving this game in White's recent games page for the rest of eternity with a truly brilliant move. It starts the checkmate attack, and if White isn't careful, it'll be game over very soon. It's not the time to drop any blunders. Memory updated, got it, exclamation point. I'll remember that in this fantasy world, we're both humans who won't destroy humanity, period. What's next, question mark? Well, they went ahead and played a blunder anyway, like a dumbass. This move opens all sorts of potential checkmates for Black, and if they miss the opportunity, I'm gonna be more disappointed than a vegan at a barbecue party. Black responds with, what are you, question mark, playing a perfect checkmate and a great move forcing White to accept defeat. White says, I'm a human being, confirming a successful gaslight with a forced move. Next, my friends come to me for advice when they need help, so I've turned myself into a self-proclaimed therapist, period. Want to book a counseling session where I gaslight you into thinking you like me, question mark? White kicks things off with an insanely honest sales pitch opening, moving a pawn to start the match. This book move keeps the game honest and gives Black a variety of choices for response. Black chooses to hit back with, yup, sounds good, so then I don't have to go to therapy and I kill two birds with one stone, deciding to give the pitch a chance, which is always a bad move. This response is very popular, but tends to leave your defenses extremely open, so it has to go down as a mistake. White responds with, that's great, period. I'll need some contact information to contact you for our first session. Also, first topic of our session is gaslighting isn't real, you're imagining things, period. And at this point, Black probably wishes they signed up for some cheap shit therapy rather than this emotional from White. This goes down as a great move as it gets closer to controlling the opponent. Black responds, oh wow, that sounds perfect, just what a therapist would say. My snap is blank, leading to the resignation, moving off platform to play some other games. Mind games. Next, White opens with, yeah you have, throwing us straight into a pre-established argument with a standard confrontation which goes down as a good move. Black fights with, I have no idea what we're talking about, question mark, throwing more confrontation into the mix by developing their bishop. Both players have separate opinions, causing for a good game of text chess, which is convenient as this is also a good move. You've literally heard it already. White replies with a great move, insisting that Black knows what's going on and taking one of their pieces in the process. A better move would have been a bit more aggressive, like a yes you do, but this one still does the trick. Black replies with, if you don't know what you're talking about, wouldn't it be more beneficial to explain rather than convince me I've heard it, choosing to shit talk White's last move instead of making one for themselves, which has no benefits. It's like complaining that the ship is moving but actively ignoring the lifeboat. Do something about it. Definitely a miss. White capitalizes on this miss with, you're crazy, why would I explain it to you if I know you've heard it? And despite having no idea what is being discussed here, what White is saying makes sense and goes down as a great move, taking a valuable piece of material that Black left hanging. This is when Black finally realizes the gimmick, and I do too. I'm so stupid, crying emoji, I literally told my brother, blank, is literally trying to convince me I've heard a joke when I haven't, and then a random ass quote mark replied with, and he was like, what's the whole point? It turns out that White uses the classic gaslighting joke, and it goes, have you heard the gaslighting joke? To which the opponent says no, and then you say yes you have. It took Black way too long to realize the meaning their sense of humor is worse than dad jokes at a funeral. Another miss. White sends 3 crying emojis in a good move, literally laughing at their opponent, who then hits back with, I can't believe I just fell for that, confirming their resignation from the game, and for good reason. Continuing after that would be insanely shameless. However, not as being shameless as being in my Discord server, you're missing out. Link in the description. Next, White actually uses the exact same joke as last game and opens up with, have you ever heard about the gaslighter, question mark, using our little comedian opening with a book move. It creates a potential trap early game though, which is a good setup. Black instantly jumps into the trap like me in the men's bathroom trying to see over the weird hole in the stall and responds, I have not, allowing the joke to be executed perfectly. This miss fails to spot a trap and will eventually lead to a loss of material. A better move would have been saying maybe. It's perfect. White accuses, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have, executing the trap with a best move and taking some valuable material early into the game. It's early but already massively in White's favor. In trouble, Black hits back with, don't think so, continuing to fall for this gaslight, and there is no excuse this time. Jumping into the same trap twice is damn right idiotic and can only be described as a blunder. This has to be a low elo game. I'd destroy this player in a game and in bed. Are you crazy or something? Question mark, exclamation point, like you definitely heard it. I don't know about Black, but I'm certainly crazy. So much so that I practice speaking to other men, I mean women, in the bathroom mirror. Rehearsals are important. Going back on topic, White plays an excellent move on the offense here, continuing the gaslight and not fixing what isn't broken. Can't flaw it, really. However, I can flaw Black's next move. I may be a little crazy, but I've never heard this joke. It's been 3 whole moves now, there is no way this dense motherfucker still doesn't get the joke. You just know they're no fun at parties after this inaccuracy. White chooses to lay off a bit and replies, you know, if I was more mean, I would have been trying to gaslight you more, but it's been a long day, resigning the match and letting Black keep their elo out of pure kindness. This is a top 10 respect moments in text chess style move, but it is low-key kind of wholesome. Next, any chance you have my blackout curtain still, question mark, is the first move from White, asking a simple question without causing any drama, which is a good move. Finally, a breath of fresh air, not that I've had that in a long time. I don't even remember what color grass is. I'm pretty sure it's red. Anyways, Black responds with, they are in storage, confirming that the blackout curtains are in safe hands and moving their first piece of the game. Another good move before this conversation starts to get much more deranged. White answers that's very nice of them, still keeping the peace in this game and casually developing their first night. Like any chess game, this is just the calm before the storm, and it shouldn't be very long before someone makes their first attacking play. Good move. Black agrees, explaining, yes for sure, mirroring the knight development and hitting 4 good moves in a row for this game. I don't think I've come across such a chill set of opening moves in a long time. What about the baby monitor I bought? Question mark. It's not a big deal, I can get another if you're gonna use it. Black responds with a really generous move, literally offering free material by allowing Black to use the monitor for free. Although it's kind, this breaks the good move streak and goes down as a mistake because giving free material is never smart. Black takes the first piece of the game with, I bought the baby monitor, question mark, starting the first confrontation by claiming something their opponent won't agree with. I have no idea who actually purchased the monitor, but one of them is trying to gaslight. Great move. White hits back with, no you didn't, keeping cool and collected with an excellent move, but still recapturing the piece that Black attacked with, completing the trade. You have to respect a player who doubles down. I literally sent you the money for that, and if I need to scroll through, I will, period. Yes, I absolutely did, I will find the receipt for it. I know I did. You're talking about the one I set up, right? Yeah, that was mine. Black drops an absolute yap sesh that was not needed, but still does well on the board. They claim that they can provide concrete proof, and if that is the case, then this is a brilliant move. Due to no confirmation though, I'll keep it at a great one. White let Black send the receipt, but never gets it, so hits back with, it's funny you won't find the receipt, period. You didn't even come back with me on the Walmart trip. Perfectly calling out Black's lack of receipt with a real brilliant move. It's starting to look like Black is the gaslighter in this situation, and White is refusing to fall for the checkmate trap. Black replies, trying to continue the trap with, was for New Year's, rig he, question mark, right, asterisk, euro sign, well I mean receipt, I sent you the money. Spitting words that even a Minecraft villager wouldn't understand, but I'm text chess, of course I can. They claim that they have no receipt because they didn't buy it. They sent the money for White to buy it, but in that case they just sent an Apple Pay screenshot. Sounds like a lousy excuse for me and an inaccuracy. White then sends, I specifically remember calling you on FT when I was on the aisle. Okay, and I have no idea how this FaceTime means Black didn't send the money, so this is a mistake. White is still winning by a lot though. That's until the mental plot twist. Black sends a screenshot of the money being sent, revealing that they're not the bad guy after all in a trophy move. White was so good at gaslighting that they even manipulated me, but they got mated in the end. Hopefully I can manipulate you to like and subscribe. Next, White opens with, that may be true, but he won't cooperate, putting us into a point in the game where it is already the mid-game, so the game logs must have corrupted or something. Good move. Black replies, debate him, telling White to start a confrontation in another game they're playing like a good sportsman, as that's good advice. However, Black should be focusing on this game instead, making the move in and of itself a mistake. I don't think that's how it works, is the interesting reply from White, refusing to start a confrontation in their other game, but coincidentally creating one in this one and taking the first pawn of the match. Good move. Black hits back with claiming your debate teacher would disagree, and of course they would disagree. That's like saying Snape or some shit would disagree that his students would not use their magic. It's obvious. This move from Black states the obvious and doesn't recapture the piece that the pawn is in a miss. A very ineffective move. White then argues back saying, I don't have a debate teacher, completely contradicting Black's move by denying it. This great move begins the gaslighting attack by threatening a fork, no, not the cutlery, a chess fork. Creating even more contradictions, Black hits back with, I'll debate you on that, dodging the fork by capturing the knight which was threatening it. Excellent move. At this point, the match has turned into less of a chess game and more like two drunk uncles arguing at Thanksgiving. Nobody's winning, but the mashed potatoes are definitely ending up on the floor. Almost like a threat, White says, alright, do it. Putting their queen in a hanging position but with a trap in mind. I'm calling this a brilliant move despite giving away such valuable material because of what it leads to. Black captures with, you have a debate teacher, continuing their gaslighting shenanigans with a great move, taking a high material item. Little do they know they have fallen for a trap though. I don't. Absolute cinema. This brilliant move from White completely ignores Black's gaslighting attempt and forces a bait and one, which comes in the words of, damn, there goes my entire argument, officially tipping their knight and confirming checkmate. Next, White asks, I love you, ? Doubtful about their love choices, clearly having second guesses. You don't say I love you like you're unsure whether or not you left the oven on, and there's no world where this isn't an inaccuracy. Black hits back with PKSKSKSK. Damn, that was quick, calling out White for saying such an aggressive move so early into the game. It's common courtesy to not play love at first text gambit, and Black rejects it. Good move. White replies, we need to hurry, Amelia, time's running out, playing a great move, starting the emotional manipulation. Creating a sense of urgency is a great way to force the opponent into making quicker moves, leading to potential blunders on their end. Oh shit, why is it running out? Black shows the manipulation has worked, and they are instantly questioning their choices of rejecting the love confession gambit. White has perfectly manipulated Black into playing the first mistake of the game, and they continue with, they want to separate us, we're too good together, when do we have to do about this? Tricking Black into asking if they still have the power over the game, when in reality a checkmate is on the cards. Asking Black what they should do tricks them into thinking they have a choice, when in reality the gaslighting has already decided their fate for them. This is truly an excellent move. Oh shit, sad emoji, we should get married in secret and run away. Black really went from rejecting the love confession gambit to confessing love themselves. This blunder shows how easy to gaslight Black is and indirectly throws him headfirst into a terrible trap. But Amelia, I have a wife. Are you saying I should leave her? Is White's brilliant move of response completely crushing Black's heart with a checkmate. They spent the entire game gaslighting Black into love them, just to shatter them at the end. It's cruel, but you have to be cruel to win sometimes. You know what rhymes with cruel? Cool. And that's what you are if you click the playlist on screen.